Welcome to this episode of Quantum Logic. I'm Spencer Scott, and in this episode, I want to give you 5 powerful ways AI is helping us take care of the most complex system in the universe, the human mind. There's something I haven't talked much about on this show, but I want to share something personal and a topic that is really close to me. I've spent decades working in IT and cybersecurity, from consulting to working with professional service businesses with sharp suits and tight deadlines. These were highly stressful situations, dealing with major cyber incidents. That meant being on standby 24/7, just waiting for that call to come. On the weekend, for example, there was lack of sleep. I had a horrible diet. It just was bad experience overall, and the physical and mental health really suffered. But the truth is, beneath all that, I've had my own mental health struggles. And that became more noticeable during COVID. And a year after COVID, I had an injury during a snowboarding holiday. And that made me realize I really needed to reach out for help. And, I've had anxiety and moments of burnout and also, feelings of imposter syndrome. And in the past, I had that creeping sense that no matter how much I achieve, it's never quite enough. And the thing is, I know I'm not alone. Now, I was lucky that I was introduced a few years ago to a coaching system that helped me understand more about how my mind works and more about my personality. And that made it easier to understand how and why I behave the way I do. To be clear though, whilst I have improved in the past few years, I am a work in progress and I still have my lows as well. Millions of people are carrying a similar invisible weight. And while we talk a lot about technology and data on this podcast, I rarely talk about what happens inside the mind. In the past decade, there has been a real shift and focus on the importance of mental health, which is absolutely brilliant. But I wanted to understand what AI tools are available to help people who struggle with mental health. So imagine needing help at 2:00 in the morning. You're spiraling, you can't sleep, you don't want to wake your friends or admit to anyone how bad it feels, so instead you reach for an app. You type into the app, "I'm not okay," and the AI responds gently, respectfully, with something like, "I hear you. Tell me more." So there are tools out there like Woebot, Wysa, and Replica that use cognitive behavioral therapy principles, combining psychological research with natural language processing. But look, they're not therapists, but they simulate aspects of therapy. For example, asking reflective questions, offering grounding techniques, and helping you track emotions over time. These bots never judge, they don't roll their eyes, they don't get impatient. And for people afraid of stigma or simply unable to afford weekly sessions, these tools could be the first step toward healing, or at least being heard. And while they don't replace professional care, they could provide something that's just as vital in a crisis: presence. And I will have links to these apps in the description, so please check them out. In this next section, we will talk about emotion recognition. Let's be honest, sometimes we don't know how we feel until someone points it out. Now imagine that someone is an AI system. Modern emotion recognition tools can analyze your voice for stress patterns. They can read your facial expressions through your phone's camera. Some even pass the tone of your messages or social media posts to detect signs of depression or anxiety. This technology is already being used by mental health hotlines and researchers to identify early signs of suicidal ideation. These algorithms are trained on thousands of voice samples, and they can now flag emotional distress with surprising accuracy. It's like having an emotional radar, like a second set of eyes watching out for what might otherwise go unnoticed. And of course, this opens the door to serious privacy debates, but it also opens a window for silent sufferers, those who don't yet have the words but desperately need to be seen and heard. Let's talk about personalized mood tracking next. If you've ever tried journaling, which I do, you know how powerful it can be. Now, imagine journaling with an assistant that remembers your triggers, patterns, and your progress and actually learns from them. So there are apps like Youper, Mindstrong, and MoodPath that go beyond these generic check-ins. They analyze how you're feeling day to day, correlate your mood with your sleep, your habits, your screen time, even your breathing rate, if synced with wearables. These apps can spot trends that even your doctor might miss, like rising anxiety before meetings or depressive dips during winter months. And what's more, they adapt the more data you give them. Instead of giving you stock affirmations, they might suggest a tailored breathing exercise, for example, or a meditation prompt based on your current stress level, or even notify a caregiver if something feels off. It's like having a digital therapist in your pocket, but look, it's not perfect, but it always is tuned in. This leads on to the next section with AI-assisted diagnosis. Now, diagnosing mental health conditions is notoriously difficult. It's not like scanning for a broken bone, it's subtle, it's subjective, often clouded by stigma, denial, or misinterpretation. But now, AI is giving psychiatrists and psychologists sharper tools. At Stanford University, for example, researchers trained models to detect signs of depression from voice recordings with over 80% accuracy. MIT is using speech and text analysis to identify early markers of schizophrenia. In the UK, trials are underway to use AI in NHS clinics to help triage mental health patients faster and more effectively. One breakthrough tool can detect PTSD by analysing word choices and sentence patterns before the individual even realises what they're experiencing. So what once lived in a science fiction book is now running in hospitals and apps worldwide. And for patients who've bounced from doctor to doctor without answers, this can be a moment when someone finally connects the dots. For the final point, we're going to talk about digital companions. This one might sound strange, but for many people, especially the elderly, the isolated, or those on the autism spectrum, AI companions are becoming lifelines, and not just in care homes. We've got apps like Anima and Eva that let users create custom digital companions that offer emotional support, conversation, and even flirtation. And some users have gone even further than that, forming romantic attachments or claiming to have fallen in love with their AI companion. In Japan, physical AI companions like Paro, the robotic seal, and Pepper, the humanoid robot, are already being used in nursing homes to reduce loneliness and boost emotional well-being. Meanwhile, in the US and Europe, AI avatars are being tested in elder care and therapy environments to simulate connection, reduce anxiety, and offer basic companionship. But here's the thing. If the alternative is silence, no companionship, no conversation, no sense of being seen, then even a digital voice can bring comfort. For some people, AI isn't replacing anyone. It's the only one who's there. So let me ask you this. Do you think a machine can care about you? Do you think it can help you care for yourself? Because sometimes what we need isn't a deep philosophical dialogue. It's a reminder, a nudge, a prompt to breathe, to feel, to express ourselves. AI isn't here to replace human connection, But it is here to support it, to scale it, to extend it, and sometimes simulate it when there's no one else around. And for someone in crisis, that can be everything. We're living in a time when machines are learning to understand us, not just what we say, but how we feel. And while that comes with risk, it also comes with extraordinary potential. So if you've been struggling, or if someone you care about has, maybe don't dismiss the idea of talking to an application. Perhaps it is better to not underestimate the healing power of something that listens. Because in the end, healing starts with being heard. If this episode resonated with you, or you've tried any of the AI mental health tools I mentioned, or have some others you can share, I'd love to hear your experience. Drop a comment, send a message, or share this episode with someone who might benefit from it. What I strive to do with this podcast is dive into how AI and technology is changing what it means to be human, one episode at a time. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay curious, and as always, stay human. And finally, remember, even in the digital age, you are not alone. Bye for now.